feeling. What happens when life drops you into the middle of a storm you never saw coming? The people around you just keep moving forward, feeling, and you're left trying to pick up the pieces in a world that refuses to slow down. Today, we're diving into the quiet, devastating, and unexpectedly funny world of Sorry Baby, the 2025 indie drama that takes a fearless look at friendship, trauma, and those awkward, feeling, hard-won steps toward healing. If you're ready to unpack tangled relationships, life after crisis, and all the messy honesty of being human, feeling, stick around because the ending of Sorry Baby is going to stick with you. So let's set the scene. Feeling. Agnes is an English professor at a rural New England college, a place coated in snow, sarcasm, dark wood, and way too much academic baggage. Feeling. Agnes's best friend Lydie breezes in from New York, braving the freezing cold and schlepping enough socks for a small army. Feeling. Theirs is the kind of friendship built on jokes, shared stress from grad school, feeling, and the running commentary that only comes from surviving a decade of existential crisis together. Letty is quippy, smart, and as Angs likes to joke, feeling, probably the only person who could make endless academia somehow bearable. Right away, you get a sense of the underlying theme. These women have grown, feeling, reconnected, drifted, reunited. They're old enough to look at their adult choices like marriage and buying houses, feeling, and cringe or laugh at how grown up it all feels. Angs is married, supposedly settled, but it's clear those bonds are looser than you'd expect. Feeling, with Leedy visiting, there's a warmth, but also a wistfulness. Both women suspect life's moving too fast, and neither is sure they're ready for it. Lydie confides her own big news. She's pregnant, the result of a long, awkward road and a mysterious donor. There's humor, feeling, some envy, but also joy, a recurring note throughout the movie. The good and bad, laughter and grief are always side. They're both teachers now, feeling, both still haunted by grad school. And when they catch up with the old crew, it's clear Agnes is the prodigy, the one everything came easy to, even as she's quietly breaking. But the real heart of the story cracks open when Professor Preston Decker, Agnes's mentor and thesis advisor, feeling, enters the scene. He comes across as another quirky, slightly disheveled academic, writer, ex-husband, father, feeling, juggling failed drafts and new students. Their relationship seems all business at first, but the film, in its winding, non-linear style, feeling, begins to drop hints of discomfort. Agnes, doodling, anxious, notes the way Decker's praise makes her feel off balance. Then, feeling, in the middle of an ordinary evening, Decker crosses a line. The assault scene is devastating in its disarming normalcy. Agnes can barely process what's happening, fighting back, redirecting, hoping he'll stop, only to realize too late that this is really happening. Hey. Feeling, her recounting of the event to Liddy is raw, confused, gentle, heartbreakingly self-effacing. She doesn't want to call it attack, feeling, though she doesn't want to send him to jail. She just wants it to not be her story. What follows is a masterclass in subtle, complex aftermath. Feeling, the film refuses melodrama, instead focusing on the shoddy institutional support. Agnes is forced to detail her experience to a weirdly unsympathetic nurse, feeling, then to faculty administrators who wring their hands and insist, with irritating Fox sisterhood, feeling, that they air women and know what you're going through, all while explaining he's already resigned, so nothing can really be done. Beyond the institution shrug, Agnes's world quietly destabilizes. Everyday routines turn surreal. She stares at Decker's empty office, feeling, considers arson as vague catharsis, and even obtains lighter fluid from her hilariously awkward neighbor, Gavin, feeling, before deciding she doesn't really want revenge. Just an ending. Her way of processing is never neat. It's a series of fragmented, real-life attempts to put herself back together, one slightly damaged piece at a time. Where Sorry Baby really stands out is how it lovingly scrambles timelines. 1 minute we're deep in the tense aftermath, feeling, with Agnes numbly buying cat food and half adopting a stray kitten named Olga. The next, Ealing, we're thrown back into a grad school memory with Agnes and her friends, hunched over drafts, half joking about faking injuries to get out of deadlines. Trauma and healing blur, mixing the mundane and absurd. Nothing is ever tittily resolved. Agnes tries to function, teaching, role-playing, normal, feeling, eventually applying for a full-time faculty spot. But sitting in Decker's old office is like living inside the wound, feeling. There's a constant shadow, students who whisper about faculty favorites, conversations with Natasha, another old friend and grad school rival, feeling, and an open wound about whose career Decker helped and whose lives he warped. Natasha reveals she also slept with Decker, feeling, but where Agnes only feels confusion and pain, Natasha expresses more anger and cynicism, underscoring how such betrayals never have just one victim or one reaction. Feeling, a key turning point is Agnes's attempt to serve on jury duty for a sexual assault case. When asked if she's been a victim, she wavers, both wanting to confess and fearing the exposure. Ultimately, she tells the truth, piecing together her complicated feelings, feeling. She doesn't want Decker in jail. She just wants him to stop hurting people, feeling. She's still haunted by wanting to protect others and not wanting to blow up her world all over again. Through it all, small vectors of hope appear, feeling. There's Gavin, the neighbor who is sweet, gently weird, and becomes Agnes's first step toward trusting again. Feeling. A new relationship forms, not a miracle cure, just ordinary awkward love with honest conversations and late night bathtub confessions. Thread through all these stories, Agnes doesn't see herself as the survivor. She feels broken, angry, blank, feeling. Guilty for not being sadder than guilty for moving on at all. The film's final act brings everything full circle. Lighty, fully out and joyfully partner with Fran, has had her baby, Jane. The friends reunite, feeling overwhelmed with love for this new life and tenderly awkward about the future. Agnes is left babysitting for 20 minutes, holding little Jane, feeling and breaking open her heart in a monologue that feels like the soul of the movie. She tells the baby she knows the world is hard, that bad things will happen, feeling, and she wishes she could stop them, but promises, above all, not to be scared off by pain, not to look away, feeling. She tells this tiny person that you can always tell her anything, no matter how dark, because sometimes the worst thing is just not being heard. Sorry, baby ends not with dramatic closure, feeling, but with Agnes offering her own broken patience and honesty to a baby, echoing the wish we all carry that someone will just sit with us, feeling, no matter how much life hurts. It's a film about carrying on, not because things get magically fixed, feeling, but because we hold each other through them, sometimes with a sandwich or a sarcastic joke, sometimes by just staying in the room. Home message. It's that survival isn't heroic, it's messy. It's painful. It comes with guilt, anger, accidental joy. But in the end, Agnes finds something like peace. Not healing in the sense of all better now, but in the sense of moving forward, loving others, and vitally loving herself a little more for getting through. So what did you think? Did Sorry Feeling, Baby's ending hit you as hard as it did me? Were you satisfied with how Agnes's journey wrapped up? And what do you think the film says about friendship, feeling, trauma, and moving on? Let's get a conversation going down below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the deep dive. Hit subscribe for more movie breakdowns and share this recap with friends who love a smart, honest story. See you in the next one.